Okay, I'm not gonna finish the third Friday the 13th in time for the last Friday the 13th occurring this year. I'm sorry, I just could not find the time to do this because I've been very busy with school and there's a lot of movies I'm trying to go see this year. Plus, I'm kind of an idiot who doesn't know how to stop spending his money and I'm trying to fix that habit too. Anyways, I figured I owed you guys some sort of video, so I'm going to try and start making this new series of videos called Cooper's Perspective. It's pretty much my viewpoint of movies, video games, and even TV shows. So, with that said, I hope you enjoy this new series, and let's get this started with... Ah yes, the Back to the Future trilogy, one of the most popular film series ever made. I was first introduced to Back to the Future through the Angry Video Game Nerd's review of the NES game, and I got seriously confused when he said,
"But Darth Vader came from the planet Vulcan and said that he'll melt my brains if I don't, so I don't have a choice."
Then James Rose decided to review the movies as himself, and that's when I finally decided to try and watch them for myself. The first movie never really appeared on TV that often back in 2009, but I did manage to record parts 2 and 3. So part 2 ended up being the first film in the series I ever watched, and I used to consider it my favorite at the time. I found 3 to be amusing, but not as good as part 2 at the time. Then I finally got the chance to watch the first film in the series on a website that is probably non-existent nowadays. I found it to be very entertaining, and I was an immediate fan of the series right after I saw that first movie. Eventually, I got the series on thankfully corrected widescreen DVDs, where I watched a few of the documentaries on how they made them, and I probably watched the gag reels much more than I watched the actual movies. I was disappointed to see that part 2's gag reel was actually really short, seeing how it was my favorite film in the series at the time. But hey, at least part 1 gave us the greatest outtake of all time.
There she is, man. There's a bitch. Son of a bitch, she cheating, man.
Back then, I used to consider part 2 to be the best in the series, but eventually, I saw that part 1 was actually better than part 2. In fact, part 1's probably one of my favorite films of all time, and I'm pretty sure I've lost count how many times I've seen this movie. Why is that? Well, let's have a look. Michael J. Fox plays Marty McFly, a cool skateboarding, guitar-playing, 22-year-old looking high school student who hangs out with the crazy Dr. Emmett L. Brown. Oh yeah, he also has a girlfriend named Jennifer Parker who doesn't really do anything in these movies. Well, aside from changing actresses. However, Marty's life at home isn't really all that perfect. His mom's a strict alcoholic.
I think the woman was born a nun.
And his dad's a dork. And his brother and sister are unimportant. Well, to the plot, at least. However, his whole life ends up turning around quite literally when his dog ends up creating a time machine out of the most irrelevant car ever. A DeLorean. Okay, with all due respect, I still want that car. So, Doc invented a time machine. Alright. Doc has to use a power source, so he decided to steal some plutonium from a couple terrorists.
From a group of Libyan nationalists. They wanted me to build them a bomb, so I took their plutonium and in turn gave them a shiny bomb casing full of used pinball machine parts. Come on!
Yeah, I'm sure that won't backfire. Oh shit!
Holy shit!
Doc ends up getting killed, wink wink, by the terrorists who also try to kill Marty. Luckily, Marty escapes through the power of main character immunity once the terrorist guns ends up getting jammed. How convenient. So in a bit of panic, Marty hops into the DeLorean and tries to escape the terrorists, but ends up hitting that 88 miles per hour limit, which sends him back 30 years to the past. He stays about the whole situation, but immediately tries to find out if Doc is still around in 1955. Thankfully, Doc is around, so he immediately goes to him for help. Yep, problem solved. I'm sure nothing oops! Marty accidentally bumped into his father at the coffee shop where he found Doc's address, and like a moron, decides to follow him. He stops his dad from getting hit by a car, and ends up getting knocked out, where he wakes up to... Oh my god, it's a young Lee Thompson. Oh shit, that's Marty's mother.